Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake aka Tag, and today we're back again with one of the best Golem players in Clash Royale right now, Flogen. Flogen is a top ladder Golem player that is running a special variation of Golem with Battle Healer that has been working very well for him for the last couple metas, and he was even able to finish 74 in the world with it. This guy is insanely talented, as you guys can see with all of his top tournament finishes and his ladder finishes and the double 20 wins. I can't wait to go jump straight into some high level ladder matches and break down why Flogen is so successful with this off meta Golem Battle Healer deck. And if you're not already, you can support me by using creator code SirTag. By using creator code SirTag in any Supercell game, I get a percentage of all money spent at no extra cost to you. It supports the channel, it allows me to spend more time on videos, and I really appreciate it. So jumping into our first game, Flogen is going to be facing Azilys. If you do not know who Azilys is a pro player from Tribe, and he has been around since day one at the top of the scene. So very formidable foe. Let's see what Flogen does. So right out of the gate, Flogen is not cycling anything. He's responding to the Barbed Barrel so it doesn't get 2 hits on his tower. He's dropping a Battle Healer in the back because his opponent is going in for a Bandit. The main tip that he has said right out of the gate, the most important thing with this deck, like most beatdown decks unless you're running Giant, you want to be waiting until double elixir and not cycling anything at all unless you're responding to your opponent. If you get to double elixir, you're going to be way more safe because your Golem pushes cost a lot of elixir and your supporting cards cost a lot of elixir to successfully rattle off. You need to be to double elixir, and if you're dropping things in single elixir, your pushes are just going to get thwarted by Inferno Towers, whatever spam that they have on defense with Inferno Dragon. You're going to be very hard pressed to break through your opponent in single elixir. So double elixir where it's at, that's what you need to get to. One other thing that you guys are going to see is his reluctancy to cycle Electro Dragon unless he has to early on. One of the best plays with Electro Dragon is if your opponent doesn't have Lightning, you want to save that for defense, and you want to save it for pushes with your Golem. You want to be cycling your Baby Dragons, your Battle Healers, or your Dark Princes on defense most of the time, opposed to cycling that Electro Dragon, because it's the most important defensive card in the game for this deck. It is going to be your resets on the Inferno Towers. It's going to be your resets on the Inferno Dragons. It's going to stop the Battle Rams charge, the Prince's charge. You name it, the Inferno Dragon, or the Electro Dragon rather, is going to be your defensive utility. So that's what you want to be keeping in your hand. Have just a goal right out of the gate. I want to make it to double elixir, taking the least amount of damage possible. I'm not starting my Golem. And as you guys can see, guys, Flogen is adhering to that game plan. He knows it. Since the start of the game, he's not faltering. He's not cycling anything that he doesn't want to be early on. He's just responding to whatever his opponent throws down. One other thing that you guys are going to notice is when he starts his Golem, he's going to be doing it when he's safe. So usually when he defends and his opponent has to respond to those defending units, he's going to be up enough elixir to go in for the Golem. Another thing that you guys will see a lot of times at this really high level, Golem players are never going to go in for the Golem unless they know that they can actually make a pretty big push behind it. So he is going to be like, okay, if my opponent is going to cycle their Battle Ram and they don't have it in cycle, then I can start my Golem. So the Battle Ram or the Ram Rider wasn't in cycle there. So as you guys can see, Azilys is cycling cards consistently into the Golem because he has to defend because the Ram Rider was not in cycle when Flogen went in for that Golem. Very important to know your opponent's card cycle. It takes 4 cards to get back to their win condition. So after they cycle it, you want to keep in mind. And guys, it's working so well for Flogen. He waited until double elixir. He spammed his Battle Healer, his Electro Dragon. He's using Tornado on offense to clump up all of Azilys' units. And of course, he's going to be able to break through because he has so many dragons stacked with that Battle Healer. That's one of the strengths with this deck, guys. Using the Battle Healer and stacking up a lot of dragons behind your Golem pushes, your opponent pretty much can't stop that. It's near impossible to stop that Golem type of push. So yeah, we're going to see Flogen go in for a Battle Healer in the back opposed to dropping the Golem. And the reason he's doing that is if he went in for a Golem at the river or a Golem in the back, he wouldn't have elixir to stop that Ram Rider that's coming down. So that's another pro play, guys. It's the same concept of starting a Night Witch in the back and then following up with your Golem at the river. I love when Golem players do this because what Flogen is doing right now is he's playing safe. He's not going to lose the game because he knows that he can consistently get damage if his opponent is at too little elixir and overexerts his offense there. So Azilys overspent on offense because he's like, yo, there's so much stuff on the left-hand side. I can probably go on the right and be A-okay. But no, Flogen didn't go in for a Golem, so he wasn't at 2 elixir. Azilys was not going to be able to break through there. As a result, Flogen was able to apply dual lane aggression. As you guys saw, Mini Peck was on the right-hand side, so if he hadn't won with Electro Dragon on the left, he would have won on the right-hand side. So very well played from Flogen. Let's move on to the next game, and let's let's see how Flogen continues to play Golem at the top ladder against some of the best players in the entire world. So on to the next game, he is going to be playing against Venom. Venom is currently playing one of the best decks in the entire game, this really fast 2.9 Elixir Giant Cycle deck with Mini P.E.K.K.A, Miner, and Magic Archer. So what is Flogen going to do? Because this matchup is pretty good for him in double elixir. He is not going to do anything in single elixir. He is not cycling anything to skeletons, and especially when you see skeletons early on, one thing that he has told me specifically, in no case scenario does he ever go in for a Golem in single elixir against 2.9 Expo or 2.6 Hog Rider. So that's something to keep in mind because it's impossible to break through them. So very well played from Flogen, going in for the tornado, just playing defensive and making sure he takes a minimal amount of damage. So he's going to try to make it until double elixir. You're going to see that reoccurring theme, and it's cool because if you guys want to have a deck that you just follow guidelines, this Golem deck, if you want to play it correctly, you're going to be following that guideline of getting a double elixir, going for the battle healers, and then stacking up your supporting cards of double dragons behind your Golem. If you follow that template and you play very carefully and play well mechanically on defense and don't overcommit, you'll be able to win a lot of your games. So if you guys want a deck that's a lot more strategic, that is really about playing safe and sound, this Golem deck is probably going to be for you. So highly recommend it. Super good deck that Flogen created, and yeah, it's just really impressive that he has had this blueprint of playing Golem so successfully at top ladder for so long. Anyway, he's going to be going in for a battle healer on defense. He's going to go for Barbarial, again, just a cycle. And as we're seeing, he is consistently not cycling that Golem, going for Baby Dragons on defense. And he's in a pretty good situation. He's not down and out of this game yet. He's only down like 1,100 hit points. That's pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Again, he's going to have to tornado. Unfortunately, in this situation, he has to tornado and Mini P.E.K.K.A, so that's going to be 7 elixir for 5 elixir for his opponent, so that's definitely not a good trade for him. And one thing that this deck does struggle against is going to be bats plus miner. You're going to have to tornado a lot on defense if you don't have Baby Dragon or Electro Dragon in cycle. And even if you do drop the Baby Dragon, then you have to spend more elixir right on top of the miner, and eventually your opponent might be able to outcycle you. But yeah, as we're seeing, guys, the Magic Archer was right on top of the Electro Dragon. However, because the Battle Healer was healing everything, it didn't amount to anything from our opponent. So he's going to tornado the Magic Archer into the spam. That's one thing that you can do with princesses, dark goblins, any ranged unit like Magic Archer. You pull it right into your spam, have that Baby Dragon have a glorious feast right on top of it, and that's how you deal with it, because you don't have lightning, you don't have poison, you don't have fireball. The only way that you can kill it with this deck is tornadoing it right into your spam. And it's wildly successful with this deck too, so you don't need those big spells. Honestly, what do you guys prefer? Having a 3 elixir cost card to kill a Magic Archer for a +1 elixir trade, or would you go in for a lightning? Flogen definitely prefers the 3 elixir, and it's working out very well for him. He comes away with the W, as you guys saw in double elixir. He actually didn't even go in for the Golem. I didn't even think I saw a Golem that game. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, mostly just using the Battle Healer and the Electro Dragons, playing safe and sound. And usually, if you don't have the Battle Healer when you're running Golem right now, you're not going to be able to keep those dragons alive. The Magic Archer would have been able to snipe them, and then I feel like Flogen's pushes would have been effectively like nullified in so many situations. So in our next game, we're going to be playing against KK. KK is one of the best players to ever touch Clash Royale. I mean, this guy is insane. He finished number 2 in the world, and all the trophies that he has is pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to jump right into that game, and we're going to see what Flogen has in mind to play against him. So right out of the gate, we see a pretty amazing hand for Flogen. Obviously, he would probably rather have Tornado over the Dark Prince or the Baby Dragon, but Electro Dragon and Golem are the 2 cards that you want in your hand before you get to double elixir. If you have Golem in your starting hand and you're waiting until double elixir, and your opponent cycles something in the back that's like 4 cost elixir, you just go Golem same lane and you have a great time. So another thing, if we don't cover a Lava Hound matchup, one thing that Flogen has told me is he prefers going same lane with Golem. You want to go and start your Golem in the back as the first play if you ever play against Lava Hound, and then you start your dragons behind it, and then you just make a counter push going same lane. Usually with any type of beatdown push, you're going to want to go same lane with this Golem deck, and you're going to want to try to get counter push. So do not look to go opposite lane in any beatdown matchup. You defend, you have all of your units go behind your golem, you make a much bigger push, and you get a lot of value from that. Especially when you have Electro Dragon and Tornado, if your opponent doesn't have Lightning, there's pretty much no way for them to kill that. That's why it's the most important card in the deck. Well, here we are. We're actually going to be playing against Lightning. So let's see what Flogen does against KK, one of the best players in the entire world, with Lightning, which is traditionally a very big hard counter to Electro Dragon, which his deck is run off of, right? And the Battle Healer does not heal past the Lightning guys. So in single elixir, KK goes in for a huge push, but you know that if they drop a Royal Giant, they're not going to be able to afford the Lightning on top of the Electro Dragon immediately. So the Electro Dragon is going to be your safe bet on defense. Unfortunately, in this situation, the Battle Healer takes a lot of damage, but it does heal up the Dark Prince, so the Dark Prince is able to get some little bit of payback there on the tower. So I love how Flogen just plays defensive. He never really overcommits, and he's super careful about the golems here. So one thing that separates him from like other golem players that I traditionally see, I hate when golem players just go golem in the back first play. Flogen is one of the people that I wanted to feature on my channel because he plays it at a very high level, and he plays it methodically. Very rarely do you see golem players have a game plan, play it super calculated, have a deck that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, everything about him right now is what, if I were to play Golem as my main deck, this is how I would want to play it. So that's why I chose to feature him on my channel over other Golem players. I think that there's really no comparison here. Every single push that he's doing is meaningful. He's going in for battle healers and supporting every single push with dragons and in double elixir. That's where he makes his mark. He doesn't overcommit in single elixir and just hope that the tower is going to be a good tower trade. You know, like he's like, oh, I guess I might lose my tower and hopefully I come back. No, he's waiting until double elixir. He's making calculated pushes, and he's asserting dominance to the highest degree against some of the best players in the world, just like KK. I have one quick tip that I want to cover from the last game. If you're running a Golem deck and your opponent has Lightning and you have Electro Dragon, obviously the Electro Dragon is super prone to Lightning. So what you do is you drop an initial supporting card behind the Golem, so then there's 2 Lightning targets, right? Then you drop your Electro Dragon as the 3rd Lightning target, so your opponent feels like they're going to hit all 3 of those cards with the Lightning. Then you quickly follow up with a 4th card. So what ends up happening is they'll hit the Golem, they'll hit the Baby Dragon, and they'll hit the Battle Healer. And they won't hit the Electro Dragon because it has lower hit points than all of those cards. Super important to do that, and I just wanted to cover that real quick. So you make sure that you have 3 cards real close together, and your opponent feels like they're going to hit the Electro Dragon. Then you quickly follow up with a Battle Healer, and then they hit the Golem, they hit the Battle Healer, and the Baby Dragon, and they do not get the value on top of the Electro Dragon. Obviously, that is a tip that comes into play in a double elixir or triple elixir scenario, not in a single elixir scenario, because it's going to be more difficult for you to compilate and accumulate that amount of stuff. Early on in the game, very cool stuff, guys, just waiting as per usual, playing against an elixir golem Electro Dragon deck. So this is going to be pretty funny, guys. It's going to be the exact same composition versus each other. So what does Flogen do to win an essential mirror matchup, despite his opponent having like a building and tornado, so he can activate King Tower a little bit easier, have better defenses, I would assume. But then again, the Earthquake doesn't do super well against Flogen. So it's going to be, I would guess it would probably be even matchup because his opponent's got a building, but he also doesn't have a spell that's worthwhile, you know? Anyway, yet again, guys, Elixir Golem is going to be super dreadful early on. It gives his opponent so much damage. So Flogen is going to be up a bit of Elixir, but he has to deal with an Electro Dragon and Baby Dragon, so his Baby Dragon push is going to be completely nullified. He can't make anything happen with it. In this type of matchup, I wonder what he wants to do here. He probably is just going to go in for, he's probably going to go for a big push, and he's going to stack a whole bunch of dragons because he's assuming that his opponent will not have Lightning after seeing this. It's weird when you play off-meta decks in ladder, and I really like that Flogen is being cautious here. He waits until double elixir still before starting the Golem, and he's waiting for the opportunity, knowing that his opponent can't punish him opposite lane. He had to go same lane as that Golem. His opponent's going to be able to go in for probably an Electro Dragon real soon, and I don't think that the Electro Dragon is going to be able to stop Flogen, guys. He should be able to just break through this. Elixir Golem on defense, so if you are able to destroy the Elixir Golem and get all of the Elixir from that, you're able to spam with even more stuff. But, man, this type of mirror matchup staggers so heavily in someone's favor as soon as you are able to stack stuff with the battle healers. It's crazy how decisive this win is going to be, guys. There's no way that Toby has any shot of defending this. If you have one big push coming with a golem specifically, because it has higher hit points and you're able to keep the battle healers alive for a longer period of time, there is no way in heck that your opponent's going to be able to defend. The end of the game was hysterical, just watching Flogen's units getting tickled and healed back up while Toby actually lost real units because he wasn't able to heal his units up. It just did not seem fair at all when those battle healers were stacked up. Let's move on to the next game and let's break down one more game. So we're jumping right into our last game here, and as per usual, Flogen is content, happy with life, just chilling, relaxing on the beach, and having a great time as his opponent is going to go and cycle a miner. The miner's not in the safe spot. What are those? So obviously, whenever your opponent goes in for a miner, you predict them to drop it in the safe spot, the spot that can't be tornado, because so many people run tornado these days. And unfortunately for Flogen, he now has a battle healer going directly into his opponent's units and just going to be sacrificed. So what does he do here? This is a little bit awkward. He could either go for a Dark Prince, a mini P.E.K.K.A, or he could actually alternatively go in for a Barb Barrel. So the reason why he goes in for the Barb Barrel and doesn't cycle the mini P.E.K.K.A is it's looking like his opponent is going to have Giant. And if your opponent has Giant and you cycle your mini P.E.K.K.A to counter that, then you're not going to have one of your highest damage dealers to focus down the Giant on defense. So really well played. I like how Flogen is doing this, guys. He's going to be saving the Electro Dragon. He's going to be saving the mini P.E.K.K.A for this defense. And yet again, guys, this is why it's important to not cycle your Electro Dragons early on. It is going to be your pinnacle of defending that Prince, that Battle Ram, that Ram Rider, whatever they throw at you that's charging at you, that Electro Dragon will be there for you. So honestly, this is definitely not a good start, and against Giant, some of these games are going to be super dynamic, but activating King Tower early on is great. And he's saving the mini P.E.K.K.A, or he's going to have Electro Dragon, or he's going to have mini P.E.K.K.A in cycle every single time for the Giant. So that's something that you guys definitely need to keep in mind. If you have either or, so Electro Dragon plus Tornado, or a mini P.E.K.K.A, you should be fine. And Giant decks have a faster cycle than Golem, so therefore you kind of need two different counters. This deck is really well thought out. It has two different counters to the Giant spam, two different counters to fast bridge spam decks, so you're always going to have an answer. I love how he's playing it right now. He's not going in for golems really aggressively or anything. He's not sacking towers. He is waiting for his opportunity to go in for a golem and punish his opponent. He's going to go for an Electro Dragon here, and he's going to be able to keep his mini P.E.K.K.A in cycle for the Giant. So yes, he has an Electro Dragon still alive. He forces out a poison from his opponent, and he can go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A directly on top of the Giant. He could Tornado or Battle Healer here when I see which one he wants to do. He's actually going to go for a Dark Prince, so none of the above here. So the Dark Prince is going to be able to splash on top of the Miner, and it was able to splash on top of the Giant, so it was actually a better play than dropping what I thought he would do. And he's going to go for a Baby Dragon on offense. So this is the Parade Push. This is where the trumpet is sounding, and I wonder how his opponent will have any defense. Because the Battle Healer, when you're up Elixir, and you have supporting cards that are even at 1 HP, or basically nothing, it's near impossible to defend this. So yeah, Flogen is just going to win the game. He waits for his one opportunity. Because he has Battle Healer and he has an Elixir advantage, his opponent can't possibly try to defend that, and he walks away with an incredibly clean W. That was the perfect showcasing of how to play this deck, and I was honestly just really impressed. Flogen is one of the best Golem players that I've ever seen in Clash Royale. And if you guys have been watching my videos recently, I haven't run a single Golem deck with Battle Healer, and I think I just got converted to the Battle Healer religion of Golem, so that's what we're going to be doing in future videos. Stay tuned, guys. Flogen is absolutely insane. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, you can let me know by saucing out a fat thumbs up on the video. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing for more content just like this. And a huge thank you to Flogen for coming on the channel today. His Twitter will be down below in the description of the video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling with me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.